The movie is set in 1995 and it opens on the alien planet called Hala, which is the home and capital of Kree civilization. A woman named Ver dreams of herself on the battlefield where she sees an old woman with a gun standing in front of her. Before waking up, Ver sees a man emerging from the smoke and aims his gun at him, but she doesn't see his face. Ver suffers from partial amnesia and doesn't remember her memories. Ver is a part of the Kree Star Force that defends the people of Hala. She visits her mentor, Yon-Rogg, who's the commander of the Kree Star Force, and spars with him for training. While training, we find out that Ver has photon powers, which means she can fire energy blasts from her hands. Afterward, Yon-Rogg takes Ver to the Supreme Intelligence. Supreme Intelligence is the artificial intelligence leader of the Kree civilization. People communicate with Supreme Intelligence subconsciously by bonding with biological wires. No one can see Supreme Intelligence's real face, but they only see the person they admire the most. In Ver's case, she sees the old lady from her dreams. She informs Ver that their people are facing a dangerous threat. A race of aliens called the Skrulls who are green and can shapeshift into anyone. She tells him the Skrulls infiltrate planets secretly and destroy them. Supreme Intelligence reveals Ver is a victim of the Skrulls as well because the mystery man with the gun in her dreams was a Skrull. Ver now teams up with her Star Force partners for a mission. Yon-Rogg briefs the team about their mission. He notifies them the Skrulls have invaded a Kree border planet called Torfa. There, they have to rescue their spy, Solar, who has been undercover for 3 years. Solar sent them a signal, alerting them that the Skrull General Talos had sent kill units to eliminate Solar. They fly to Torfa to rescue Solar. Ver finds Solar and plans to rescue her. Meanwhile, Yon-Rogg and the gang get attacked by Skrulls. They contact Ver, which distracts her while Solar electrocutes Ver, revealing himself to be Skrull General Talos himself, shape-shifted as Solar. Yon-Rogg and his team defeat the Skrulls while Talos kidnaps Ver. Talos brings Ver to his spaceship and tries to access her memories while she's unconscious. They monitor Ver memories on their screens while Ver relives those moments. Ver sees that she is a pilot on Earth with a woman named Dr. Wendy Lawson. Dr. Wendy was the same woman Ver kept seeing in her dreams. Ver flies away with Wendy while fighting another fighter plane. Ver gets hit and ejects herself from the plane. The Skrulls were after Wendy and wanted to know the location where Wendy and Ver crashed. Talos orders his men to find out the location of the plane crash while Ver comes back to her senses. She frees herself and attacks Talos. Ver gets jumped by all the Skrull soldiers on the ship while she tries to escape. One by one she defeats all the soldiers but mistakenly blows a hole in the ship. Ver tries to escape the ship through escape pods, but Talos blasts her pod, so she crash lands with the pod on the nearest planet, which happens to be Earth. The Skrull ship gets destroyed, but they manage to escape and arrive on Earth, looking for Ver. Now, Ver contacts Yon-Rogg and informs him about her situation. He orders her to remain on Earth for 22 hours until they arrive. Meanwhile, S.H.I.E.L.D. agents arrive on the scene, led by a young Nick Fury and a young Phil Coulson. Coulson was last seen in Avengers when Loki killed him. Fury asks Ver for her identification, but she tells him she's a Kree soldier from another planet, here to eradicate evil shape-shifting Skrulls. Fury considers her a whack job and tries to detain her, but a Skrull attacks them from afar. Ver blasts him but misses, so the chase ensues. Fury gets in the car with Coulson to chase Ver, who's chasing a Skrull. The Skrull enters a train and turns into an old lady. Ver accurately identifies the Skrull and beats him. The Skrull escapes the train but drops a device that contains Ver's memories. On the other hand, Fury chases the train but gets a call from Coulson. Fury realizes the man with him isn't Coulson but a Skrull. Their car crashes, which results in the Skrull dying. Meanwhile, Ver accesses the Skrull device and sees her lost memories. There she sees a bar called Ponchos. Now, Fury takes the Skrull back to S.H.I.E.L.D. HQ, where his boss arrives and commands Fury to keep this incident classified. He orders Fury to investigate further and only report to him. She visits the bar and sees remnants of her memories, but also finds Fury waiting for her. She fully discloses to Fury about her mission and her powers, stating that Skrulls can't replicate powers. Fury trusts her and offers his help. They find a picture of an airbase in the bar, so they visit it. The airbase was called Project Pegasus and it was a S.H.I.E.L.D. facility. Fury shows his badge and gets them in. There, they enter a huge database storage of classified information. They stumble upon a cat named Goose that belonged to Wendy. Fury likes the cat, so he keeps it with him. They start searching for documents and Ver comes across files about Dr. Wendy Lawson and her terminated project on the Lightspeed engine. Ver finds out she and a woman named Maria Rambeau worked as pilots under Wendy. They discover that Wendy is a Cree because all her notes are written in the Cree language. They also discover that Wendy crashed an unauthorized plane with a pilot and died, 6 years ago, back in 1989, and destroyed her lightspeed engine. Now, Fury contacts his boss and gives him their location. His boss arrives and consults with Fury. Fury realizes that his boss is a Skrull because he says something odd. Fury misleads his fake boss and looks for Ver, but eventually, the Skrull catches up with Fury and attacks him. Ver blasts the Skrull and escapes the base with Fury and Goose in a Quinjet. They arrive at Maria Rambeau's house and ask for her help. Maria reveals she was best friends with Ver and her real name is Carol Danvers. Maria disclosed that Carol was the one who flew the lightspeed engine with Wendy and crashed. That's why everyone thought Carol was deceased, but Carol doesn't remember Maria or any of this. Suddenly, Talos arrives at Maria's house and offers a peace offering. Meanwhile, Goose pearls in Talos's legs, which scares Talos because he believes Goose isn't a cat but an alien species called Flurkins. Fury finds it ridiculous and makes fun of Talos. Talos then enlightens Carol that she's fighting for the wrong side because the Cree had brainwashed her. He tells Carol that he possesses the recording of Carol and Wendy's of the day they crashed. They play the recording and it's Dr. Wendy talking with Carol, telling her the location of her lab. Now, Carol starts to remember everything. She remembers flying the lightspeed engine plane with Wendy while being attacked by an alien aircraft and crashing on an island. Wendy and Carol survive the crash. Wendy now reveals to Carol that she is a Cree and her real name is Marvel. Wendy tells Carol they have to destroy the lightspeed engine so the enemy can't possess it. But she gets shot and dies in Carol's arm by a man with a gun, emerging from the smoke. This was the same man whom Carol saw in her dreams as a Skrull, but turns out, it was Yon-Rogg, Carol's Cree commander all along. Yon-Rogg threatens to kill Carol as well, but she shoots the lightspeed engine, which causes a massive explosion. Carol gets blasted away by the explosion and gets affected by the blast's radiation, which gives Carol her powers. Yon-Rogg wants the lightspeed engine but witnesses an unconscious Carol filled with the power of the engine, so he takes her to Hala and scrambles her memories. Now, in the present, Talos reveals that the Cree had invaded their planet, but when Skrulls stood against them, they destroyed their planet. That's why they would go to different planets to hide from the Cree. Carol realizes that the Cree are the actual villains and the Skrulls just want to live in peace. Talos informs that they need the lightspeed engine because it can help travel faster than the speed of light, so they can travel far away from the Cree. But the engine was destroyed, replies Carol. Talos acknowledges that the engine was destroyed, but its source is still present at Wendy's lab, the lab whose coordinates Wendy mentioned to Carol in the recording, which the Skrulls couldn't understand. Carol clarifies to him that the lab is situated in outer space, orbiting Earth. They plan to go to space, but their Quinjet can't travel to space, so Talos's science guy modifies their Quinjet for interstellar travel. They all reach the lab, including Goose, and they find the Tesseract in her lab. The Tesseract was the source of Wendy's lightspeed engine. Now, Talos calls out his people, including his wife and his daughter who had been hiding in Wendy's ship for the past 6 years. Unexpectedly, the Kree Star Force arrives, led by Yon-Rogg holding Goose in his hands. They attack and overpower them and capture Carol. Now, they connect Carol with the Supreme Intelligence again. The Supreme Intelligence still appears as Wendy Lawson to Carol. She degrades and humiliates Carol for abandoning the Kree and fighting against them. Carol tries to use her powers, but the Kree have implanted a chip in Carol's neck which suppresses her powers. She breaks the chip, unlocks her full powers, and becomes Captain Marvel. She blasts the Kree and takes back the Tesseract. She hands it to Fury, but Goose launches her 8-feet-long tentacles from her mouth and consumes the Tesseract, which scares the soul out of Fury. Fury and Maria fly away with the Skrulls and the Tesseract while Carol distracts the Kree. Carol fights the Kree Star Force all alone and eventually defeats them, but Yon-Rogg discovers her diversion, so he flies after Fury and others to retrieve the Tesseract. Carol chases him, but Yon-Rogg knocks her into space to fall on Earth and die. While falling, Carol focuses on her powers and unlocks her ability to fly. She flies and hits Yon-Rogg's ship, forcing him to crash on Earth. On the other hand, the Kree had called for backup beforehand, so Ronan the Accuser arrives with his warships and launches ballistic warheads on Earth. Carol catches the warheads and destroys all of them. Then she destroys all of Ronan's warships as a warning to back off, so Ronan runs back to Hala. Now, Carol lands back on Earth to confront Yon-Rogg. He tries to manipulate her, but she blasts him miles away. She drags him back to his ship and tells him to deliver her message to the Supreme Intelligence that she will return to Hala and destroy all of it. She sets the coordinates, locks Yon-Rogg in, and sends him back to Hala. Back in the Quinjet, Fury arrives on Earth safe with Maria, Goose, and the Skrulls, but Goose scratches Fury's left eye and that's how he loses his eye and starts wearing an eye patch. They all reunite at Maria's house and after dinner, Carol gives Fury a modified pager that Fury can use to contact her no matter which planet she's on but only in extreme emergencies. This was the same pager that Fury used at the end to call Captain Marvel in Avengers Infinity War, before dying. Captain Marvel now leaves with the Skrulls to find them a new home while Fury decides with Coulson to form a group of superheroes to protect Earth because they can't always wait on Carol and they don't know what threats are out there in the universe. And that's how Fury came up with the idea of forming the Avengers. In the credits scene, it's 2018, where we see the Avengers right after losing to Thanos in the final events of Infinity War. They're monitoring Fury's pager to see who responds until they turn around and find Carol standing behind them asking for Fury, and the movie ends here. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe so you can stay updated with our daily movie recaps.